I have one more question, and there's not too much time left. Hi.
I have a short question. How
Yes.
do you protect the sources? For example, if I would get hold of a secret document, the document could have some steganographic means, for example, page break, for example, wording, so one can track that this document was delivered to me, not to somebody else, and maybe then black limousines come to my house and I would be put somewhere, I don't know.
Yeah,
and so how do you protect the sources?
So your question is quite important and interesting. So the first grounds is to understand that there's a difference between what happens and what is possible.
But everything that is possible will happen to someone.
I will get to that. But you know, you will lose 2% of your life this year, probably more, actually, guaranteed, 100%. So let's not be too concerned with things that don't tend to happen in practice. That said, we have lost no sources at all, whatsoever, in any way, internal investigation, stenography, etc. We do try and remove a whole bunch of different things. We reprocess PDFs, we recompile them, etc. But yes, things may get through. You don't need to go to this complex level that you're talking about. All you need to do is just change 1 or 2 words in a document. It's quite easy. Just change 1 or 2 words. However, if you've got someone who has to have given you that document individually, a document just for you, that's a really big logistical overhead inside an organization. They have to have already suspected you or someone in a group, and then they have to have compiled different versions of a document for everyone in this group. That doesn't tend to happen in practice, and if you suspect that maybe something like that is happening, well, you just take your colleague's document and you leak that.
Okay. Okay. But sometimes, if people are working maybe on projects for government or some stuff, then there's a strict policy who gets which documents and who signs for which documents and stuff like that. And so every document that is given to somebody is tracked, so you know who gets which document and stuff like that.
For very few organizations that are publishing classified information, we know about some of these techniques, and we're taking care that these mechanisms have no effect. So, and up until now, this has worked. There are many ways how you can make sure that a document either gets distributed to many, many more people, or to, let's say, alter some of the information on the document to make sure no one knows who it actually came from. So,
and in the end, something that is sometimes done is that you can retype the document, or just quote selective parts of it. If the source is really, really concerned, you can just quote particular bits, and then you hope that those few pieces that you quoted didn't have the magic word in them. But once again, this has never happened to us, and we've put out a hell of a lot of stuff. And there's many ways, you know, someone gives documents to a few people, 5 people, but actually they also give them to the whole computer network. So they give them to many more. There's things thrown in the waste paper basket. There's a big difference between suspicion and proof. Anyway, my answer to you is, if any source is saying, oh, well, how do I eliminate this possibility in my particular circumstances, just come to us. We will work out a way through it. We will send out extra copies of get you to send out extra copies of the document internally to make sure it's in many more people's hands, as an example. There's always been a way through for the people that we've worked with. Sometimes they can be custom solutions, other times, if it's something we've experienced many times in the past, then we know what to do straight away. But the important thing is to work through it. If you have some intelligence, there is always a way to get it through.
Okay, but so if a source has to approach you, then you could be pressable to reveal the name of the source.
No.
Because if you have communication with the source, this communication can be tracked.
It depends on how they approach us. So they can approach us through our encrypted server over SSL, and they can come via Tor, as an example. They can send us things in the post, which is a good method if you can't understand the technology enough to understand if it's secure or not. Send stuff in the post. You can use a different computer, you can use a different telephone. There's always a way if you care. Always.
Is there a how-to to...
that's what we are working on, actually.
Okay.
We are working on a how-to and why and how to leak documents guide that will be provided to...
Okay, thank you.
Yes. It's inspired by a gentleman in the audience here. So the idea is to distribute it to parliamentarians right before they're going on summer holidays, on the summer break, and to make sure to capture that inertia that there is to make something happen. So, okay, but I think we're sort of running out of time. So thanks again for the patience and the interest, and hope to see you all next year. Enjoy the conference.